King family. Well, let's see. I'm not frozen now. Again, I have no control over that. And am I live yet? Hello, my teaching family. Okay. I can see the clock. So don't know why I'm freezing. It's my computer. I shut down and came back on. Seems to be okay now. So let's go back to the beginning of this Whitney Webb thing who we hate.
There's a historical precedent, specifically in the U.S., for when they attempt to pitch a particular policy or create a particular entity. If it gets pushed back as being openly part of the government, they privatize it, and then no one complains. So a good example.
I don't know what the fuck she talks about. No one complains. I don't think this girl. Hey, Greg or John. I don't think this girl is not American. But I don't think she understands free market. We vote with our money. If we want Canadian Club, we buy it. If we don't buy it. That's how things get done here. And it's all based on the free market. So, you could see I was freezing. And then it just never came back. So I just turned off my computer and restarted, and it seems to be working fine. I think it's some stuff gets working in the background and like on Google or some shit like that. And then the next thing I know, it's interfering. My camera seems to be on in Google for some reason, which I don't like, which is why I close my lid and don't like it. But because I do the cam and the speaker and the microphone work here, but also work on Google. So I don't know. Anyway, this girl doesn't understand economics. See, this is my point with these people like this. They don't understand economics. They don't understand medium of exchange. I'm going to repeat this because I don't know what came out on the last 10 minutes of my freezing. And Greg Jen, I don't care if you're watching the Dodgers preseason game. I really don't. I don't know why you're bringing it up. We're talking about economics and gold and stuff like that, maybe football draft stuff, if you hear of football stuff. I did bring up about the Washington coach going to Alabama, and then the assistant comes back to Seattle, and you're like, why didn't they just hire the coach at Seattle? Anyway, so we have a system where it's free market, where it says, I don't care what Larry Fink at BlackRock does. All he can do, okay, if he wants to own all the houses, fine. But if he can't sell them, he's going to lose his ass. Because we vote with our wallets. That's the beauty of Austrian economics. If you don't like something, you don't buy it, and then it goes away. If you don't want, the guy Mark's, the guy's doing good with the ribs, right? There's my barbecue place. He wants to make them $45. We vote. We say too high. And what does he do? He either lowers the price or goes out of business. We determine who's in business and who's not. So if these BlackRock guys or this JP Morgan guy wants to do things, we dictate it. If they want to come back with a real estate trust, what are we going to do? We're going to buy gold, and we're going to tell them to go fuck themselves. They try to make gold unpopular, so we don't want it. But we smell what they're cooking, and we say, no, we're not going to ignore gold. They try to paint the picture, well, you'll make a lot in the stocks. You're going to make a lot in Amazon or whatever, or in their oil stocks, and they try to paint this picture. That's for the idiots. That's for the people who have no idea what they're doing and don't know who to listen to, and they'll pitch it. Just like real estate, our friend on Attack on Wall Street had no idea what he was doing. I got 60 grand. Oh, I'll put you in a real estate trust. No risk, 8 to 9% back. The guy's stupid enough to do it. And instead of coming here, and he could have been in gold, and he would have made $50,000, and he, wouldn't have had any of his problems because he didn't know who to talk to. But the first thing is you have to understand Wall Street and the banking system are Ponzi schemes. And they control the politicians who are going to reimburse them. So they run the government. So therefore, if they fuck up, they get bailed out. I mean, it's an easy concept to understand, and therefore you just avoid the game. It's like, I'm not going to watch the Rock's football, right? The spring football is here. Fuck off, Rock. I don't care. I don't want to watch spring football. It's not worth it. There's nobody in it. It's like watching wrestling. If you and Stone Cold aren't in it and Ric Flair's not wooing around, I don't want to see Joe and gets blow. I mean, I'm not going to watch that. Greg John, Jeff Bezos sold his stock and it said, and hopefully he invested in gold now. What? All right, what are you talking about? He sold his stock to buy gold. Where is this? Is this where? Where are you seeing this? Nothing like waiting till the last minute, but is it his own stock? And where is this? An article? Is this on YouTube? Give me some more details. But see, then we know we're right. As we see the money go into it, like I said, he's got $1 billion. What's he buying? $1 billion worth of gold? Where's he going to get that from? Good luck finding $1 billion. That means you got to find how many tons of gold do you have to find, and good luck finding it. I was watching something yesterday where they're just basically, China and Russia are just killing. COMEX is drained like 80% from where it was a year or two ago, them buying gold. Well, guess what? There's not that much gold left on COMEX, so it will blow up. Silver then follows. All right. Oh, tell me where you're getting it from, Greg and John. Don't just say Jeff Bezos. I want to know. Give me the details. All right.
This that I refer to a lot is the post 9/11 Dragnet surveillance operation that was going to be housed in DARPA, which is part of the U.S. military, called Total Information Awareness. And then this was privatized by Peter Thiel and some other people and turned into Palantir. DARPA's LifeLog project, in the same vein, was privatized and turned into Facebook, again with the involvement of Peter Thiel. People on the left and right alike were extremely opposed to these programs when they were being run by the military, by DARPA, but then you go and turn them into a private sector entity that does essentially the same thing, or really does do the same thing, and it's embraced or treated as private sector innovation and what have you. And people, think because of the rhetoric that, oh, this is, everything's being handed back to the free market. But these companies, Palantir being an example, that was set up with state involvement, CIA involvement, right? So it's not really the free market, it's cronyism, it's crony capitalism, it's cartelism.
No, okay, what are you talking about? Cartelism, cronyism. The oil is cartel, right? All the oil. The gold is cartelled, and that you can see it's price fixed, right? So we know it's price fixed. But with Palantir, I don't even know what she's talking about. Facebook, there is no market. There's no charge. You don't pay to belong to Facebook. As soon as they steal your information, you get off of it. Cartelism. What is that? What are they making up words for? A cartel is like OPEC. There's 5 or 6 countries that sell the oil, and they negotiate a price based on supply and demand, and they go, you know what, we're producing too much oil. We gotta cut the thing to raise our prices or something. But it's still capitalism. It's still laissez-faire economics. The fact that we choose to get a car, we choose to buy gas, and we might go to the cheapest gas station to buy the gas. I know I do, but what the fact there's a cartel or a monopoly, it's still classical economics. That part she doesn't get. The fact that there is a there is a cartel. Is there a cartel? I don't know what she's talking. I don't know what Planeteer, Facebook. I just got off, so I don't know what I didn't pay for it. I didn't like it. I got off. So look, what the hell is she talking about? And you can see it's a Bitcoin show.
Reveal a concerning trend where government projects, initially met with public pushback, find new life in the private sector, where they often operate under fewer restraints and greater opacity. The transition of DARPA's Total Information Awareness Program into private entities like Palantir and potentially Facebook is a prime example of this phenomenon. This move from public to private oversight isn't just a change of guard. It's a fundamental shift in how surveillance is conducted and perceived by the public. The implications of such transitions are vast and multifaceted. On one hand, they underscore the growing influence of private corporations in domains
Who are our main shoppers at Blue's Closet?
Our main demographic is teens and
How do they
adults.
stop in the middle of a word to go to a commercial?
The growing influence of private
Now I've totally lost.
Reserved for government entities.
What the fuck?
On the other, they highlight a concerning trend towards surveillance capitalism, where personal data becomes a commodity traded and exploited without users' explicit consent. If you're new here, consider subscribing and hitting the like button to support our content.
With someone like Malay being like, yeah, I'm going to hand stuff off to the private sector, it's not like it's going.
Entities like BlackRock, in countries such as Argentina, illuminates a broader strategy of financial imperialism. This isn't just about privatizing previously public assets. It's about the consolidation of economic power by a select few global entities that operate beyond the reach of national accountability. The scenario in Argentina is a microcosm of a larger, more disturbing trend where multinational corporations and financial institutions impose significant influence over sovereign nations through debt dependency and strategic privatizations. This form of
Well, debt dependencies, if you're stupid enough to borrow and you can't pay it back, you're in debt. Well, that's just up to you doing it. So if the BlackRock's going to loan you money with contingency on it, don't borrow from them. That's what brics is saying. Brics is saying we'll lend you the money with no thing. So why would Argentina borrow from BlackRock when they can borrow from brics? Doesn't make any sense. It only said he sold some Amazon stock. It didn't say he was buying gold. I think he should. Well, then don't fucking say it, Greg John. It said, and hopefully he invested in gold. Is that your comment that he's investing in gold? Don't go there. If it's not he's investing in gold, then don't bring up he's invested in gold because, first of all, you're misleading. Your comment is not accurate. If he bought gold, say he bought gold. If he didn't buy gold, don't say anything. I don't care that he sold stock. He probably needs money. Whatever he's doing with it. Is he going to buy gold? These guys are too stupid to buy gold. They're not Austrian. They're not Austrians. These are elitists who, think the thing's going to be. So don't bring he did buy gold if he didn't buy gold. See, you're confusing the rest of your classmates, which is not good. It's not what I want. So if you're not going to bring in facts, I don't want it brought in. I don't want to know Bezos, and then hopefully he'll buy gold with it. That's okay. Don't do that. That's not what this is about. This is about he did buy gold, and then we can say, oh, okay, that'll raise the gold. But don't tell me you hope he buys gold like he bought it. Come on, Greg and John. Stop vampiring us.
Colonialism not only undermines the economic sovereignty of nations, but also entrenches a global economic order that prioritizes corporate profit over public good. The role of major financial players in shaping the economic landscape of developing countries raises critical concerns about the future of national autonomy and the ability of countries to chart their own developmental courses.
Well, this is what brics is about. They don't even understand what brics is. So brics is about, I need a loan. I borrow $200 billion and I'll pay you back. And they don't tell you how to pay them back. Where the U.S. has conditions. If we lend you the money, you've got to go stand on your head in the corner for 6 weeks. That's how the U.S. does it. So these guys really don't know. So that's why I don't like this girl. And what she's saying is just ridiculous.
From energy to banking.
Sort of to make people feel like they've won in a sense, and that they're going to get something better for freedom and financial freedom and sovereignty, but functionally it's just as bad, if not worse, right? I think people need to keep in mind that there are intense efforts to psyop people into buying into these systems. They want people complacent. They want people to feel like the opposition has won to these agendas, but really they agree about the plan at the end of the day, the type of...
See, this girl's very offensive because she thinks we're fucking idiots. That we'll go with it, even though we don't agree with it, we'll go with it. And it's just, I don't like, well, I mean, what did I say here? You are very naive as to how things work. The rich will fail. They're idiots. Look how they're destroying the U.S. Buy gold for freedom and no debt. Does she mention gold and debt? No, she doesn't even understand it. She's, Peter Thiel's, he's the idiot in Facebook, right? And then it's, look what Argentina's, or BlackRock's going to do. BlackRock, what are they going to do in the Ukraine, BlackRock? They're going to build it. Are they construction builders? No. So they're going to hire construction companies to build buildings, which they'll have to pay for, and hope to get people to buy them, which they won't get because in the Ukraine it's very poor, and they will not have money to buy these homes that BlackRock wants to do, or office buildings like they assume people are going to come back. People aren't coming back. Now, Jenna's there with the family, so I don't know what she's planning, but I ain't going because of exactly what's happening. Putin's apparently getting close to that river that is like the central place between East and West. I ain't running into a war. I'm not running into tanks. And if they're Russian or Ukrainian, I don't care. I don't want anything to do with anybody. Leave me alone. So that's why it's really hard to go to the Ukraine. And that's why if I meet Jenna, we meet in a different country, and she's got to take a 20-hour train ride because the airports aren't open. So the airports aren't open. She trains to Poland to go fly to, Barcelona or wherever, and we meet there for a week. But I don't know. That's the problem. I really can't go anywhere. It's tough to just meet her for a week. And then it's tough to, but I can't go there, and then she won't come here. So it's a no-win situation. Greg, how much can buy in gold? Is it rare? What the fuck question is that? TK, how much can buy in gold? Is it rare? Oh my. Ask your question in English, Greg and John. How much gold can you buy? Is that your question? And is it rare? Have you been listening at all to any of the videos I do? I mean, you're asking a question that I talk about quite a bit. Yes, gold's very rare. Gold's very limited. As limited as the Mahomes 50 count. How much you can buy is as much as you got. So if you got $100,000, you can go buy 50 ounces of gold because it's $2,000 an ounce. That's what you can buy. And you got to find somebody that has that much gold that you can buy it from. So, as I've said quite a few times, there's 255,000 tons of gold, 32,000 ounces per ton. So it's 255,000 tons times 32,000 ounces, which no calculator can handle. So you just do 255 times 32, and you get somewhere close to it. So let's do, well, I ain't going there and back. Don't want to see that. So basically, it's very rare. The thing about gold is you can't print it. That's why you own it. And it's going to go up in value because everybody will realize it. Now, nobody's going to sit there, and you're not going to convince people to go into Palantir or any of this shit, or call it Facebook or what. that's really the scam, is getting you on the social networks to steal your data. That's really what they're doing. Oh, I'm on Facebook. Look, me and Joe are we're at the ball game. Let me post it to Facebook. Like, really? Why are you so open with your information? Sometimes I get a little carried away talking to Daria or Jenna on WhatsApp, which I got to be careful with. But I think it says it's encrypted, but I don't trust it. But really, who cares about what I talk to them about? It's nothing, and I'm a nothing, so I don't think that's a big deal. Just because you're monitored, nobody's watching your monitor unless there's need to watch it. This girl on Facebook wanted money. I can tell it was a scam. Well, what are you doing on Facebook? Get off of Facebook. It's just the whole thing's a Ponzi scheme. You're giving up all your information and freedom for what? So, yeah, stop talking to girls on the internet unless you can see them, call them, and, most likely it's a scam. Put it this way, from my Russian friend, Galana, she says, the real way you tell if a girl likes you, she won't ask you for money because she's afraid that you'll leave her if you ask for money. So in other words, she likes you, she'll never ask you for money. Now, you might offer it, it's your birthday or something, something like that, but she won't, because she won't want to offend you, and therefore she won't ask you for the money because she doesn't want to lose you. It's like Daria, was doing something and said, I didn't want to tell you, I didn't want to, to lose you. And I said, well, you're not going to lose me, but you should tell me. I don't care. And, so it turned out where I said, no, that's fine. And she asked me, I said, well, I don't smoke and I don't drink. And I didn't care if I'm going to lose her, but I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be stoic. And then if they leave you for being stoic, then fuck them anyway, because that wasn't worth your time. So you want to be stoic and be honest, and then they go from there. They did send a video. It was a man. I turned it off right away. So this girl on Facebook sends you a video of a man? Really? What the fuck what was the point of that? The girl was trying to tell you she's a guy, or it was her pimp? Was it her pimp or her manager? So why would they send a man? How would that scam work? I'm a guy. See, that's what Kenzie does. He gives me this bullshit. Well, I can't send a picture and I can't call you. My manager won't let me. And I'm like, well, when the manager does, then give me a call. Right now, until then, I can't, I don't know who this is. And I'm not going to assume it's you, Kenzie. So a lot of that. Now, the difference is Jenna and Daria. Jenna I've met several times. Daria I haven't met yet, but I've seen on the internet, and we WhatsApp every day. And I get pictures of her and I get pictures of her daughter. Like today, her daughter had a little mask on. I guess she's got a flu, or she's probably got that nasal infection. So it's probably draining to clear out her sinuses. They've now got that little mask on, probably cleaning her out. And I said, well, I blow my nose when I have a problem. But if you get that video or that picture, it's real, because when they start sharing the family with you, then it's much more of a real thing. If it's like this girl, she's not going to send you pictures of her. Well, that's what they do. That's why I don't bother with Kenzie. Not only that, I don't even get pictures. I said, give me a picture of you now. Take a selfie. Let me see it's you. And I can't get one. So why would I give you money? I don't even know who I'm giving it to. And I said, well, I'll tell you, you come here, and then when I meet you, I'll give you the money. And And of course, she won't show up. That's the biggest scam. The biggest scam, you just got to be careful. You just meet people. You meet them, you touch them, you shake their hand, you hold their hand, and then you know it's real. And with Jenna, we do it. With Daria, I'm waiting. It looks like we'll meet in Turkey now. So we're going to meet in St. Pete because she's worried about the war. Now all of a sudden her tone changed. And she says, well, why don't I meet you in Turkey? We can meet in Turkey. And I'm like, well, what are we waiting for? We've been wanting to meet, I thought, for 2 years with the stupid war going on. And I'm not just going to sit here and keep waiting and waiting and waiting. I'm getting old, right? If you love me, you'd want to meet me right away. So by you putting it off, I got Jenna. So, do what you want. But again, getting Jenna here will be the only way because I'm not going there and they're still having a war. Anyway, yeah, just you've got to meet the girls, you've got to chat with them on Skype or whatever, something like that where you see me and you hear me talking. I'm real, right? So since you know I'm real, because you can see me and you can do it, and I got a website and I do a video every day, you're pretty sure you know this is me, right? Probably not any confusion. But I don't know you. I don't know if you're really Greg and John or not. I assume it. You're on every day. But I don't know what Greg and John is. I don't know what you look like. I don't know anything about you other than you're in my class. So if, let's say, you asked me for money, I wouldn't give it to you because I don't know who you are. I don't know what the Greg and John, just like Bobby, we're pretty sure it's Bobby, but although Luke has it now, Luke I've met at the airport in Barcelona. So if Luke were to do that, I know who Luke is. I've met him. So that's the power of it. And that's really the problem on the internet is you can be friendly with people and you think it's somebody, but that's like there was a show Catfish on MTV, and the girl would send a nice picture and the guy would go be all, oh my God, look at this girl. Let's meet. And they wouldn't want to meet because they weren't really that girl. And then it would be some big fat girl who was waiting to meet. And you're like, I don't want her. I want the girl you sent me the picture of. And that's called catfish. So you're not really meeting the person you think you are, which is why you need, like, Daria sends me videos of her. And then I know it's her and I know what she looks like anyway, but I met her, seeing her live. I just haven't met her in Russia. So that's really the thing. So just be careful with that. But if you can start getting a video with her saying hi, and here's a picture of me and my daughter or something, then you're okay. Otherwise, I don't know what to tell you, but why send some stranger money? I mean, but I understand because I do it with the girls in Europe, but I've seen them all. I've met them all on the internet before, and every time I fly there, that's exactly the girl that I'm thinking it is. So I've never had, some fat girl meet me. Carmen was real and Irina was real, and I show you all those pictures. But I met them, and then we Skyped a little bit, so I know who I'm talking to, just like you know me. So if I said something, you would know it's me, and if you saw me at a restaurant, you'd know it's me. It wouldn't be. I wouldn't fool you because you can see what it. So that's what I'm asking. If there's a girl, she should do this. Go on that. Just send you a link, a video. Not even on here on WhatsApp. You can send a video. Hi, it's me. It's da 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 da. And that's all I ask Kenzie for. Send a video. Hi, Howard. It's me, Kenzie. You can see it, and she's saying it. Then I know it's her, but she won't do it. Now I know it's not her. So that's really the key to it. You just realize by asking a simple thing, well, why not? I mean, I do this, so I can't somebody do something like that. So anyway, so be careful with Putin. Putin does not want to invade Europe. He's not going to nuke. He doesn't want any of that. He just was worried about Russia, and he's trying to get the Nazis out of Ukraine, actually. And then Biden and BlackRock and Zelensky are all just trying to make money off of it. He's getting all these guys slaughtered, saying, "Oh, we're winning the war. We're going to win the war." And Russia's up 72-0. It's probably 82-0 by now. They're not going to win. There's no way. And you've got to understand that's not going to. They have no chance of winning. I don't like that they're actually martial law and the military is running the country. That's never good for anybody. Especially the problem is if you have gun control, then they can walk in and know you don't have guns, so they don't have anything to worry about. But you do, because the military can come into your house. That's the best part. That's why we have gun control. So the military, the government can't just seize your property and, kill you or steal from you or anything like that, because they don't know if you have guns. And if you have a fear of being shot, you're probably not going to, fuck around. So anyway, Russia's won the war. They're not going to invade Europe. They have no desire. Sweden's freaking out. Oh my God, because the governments are so corrupt and so stupid that they look at it as, oh, look, we get all this money. And what they don't realize is between the two, this is what my favorite point is, between this and this, they're both collapsing. So the fact that you're stealing all this money, like a Zelensky or Biden or a BlackRock guy, it doesn't matter. It's worthless. And until they realize that, it doesn't matter what they do or what they say. Nobody's going to follow them. Nobody's going to follow. I made a comment, I think I was at the hot tub, and somebody said to me, I'm not leaving my house. I got guns. I'm not leaving my house. I says, I didn't say you were going to leave your house, but basically we know the dollar's worthless. And that if you're going to be BlackRock and you're going to spend all this bullshit money, and they can pretend it's there, but it's gone. It's zero. Thanks to our friends in BRICS with the gold-backed currency, nobody will want the dollar. It'll blow up. So this is what you must pay attention to. See here, this is bullshit. There will not be a World War III. It's in nobody's interest to have a war. It kills countries. It kills economies, money, because you got to print a lot to pay for the war. That's why sometimes I'm reading you what happened in the Civil War, what happened in World War I, and it was like England and France sold all their gold to buy arms from the U.S. And, they went bankrupt. So why would nobody wants a war. Russia doesn't want a war. China doesn't want a war. They want business. We got some oil for you. We got some gas for you. China's got all their shit. That's what it's about. That's why you never want a war. You always want free trade, and you always want the gold standard, because the gold standard prevents wars, because you can't go to war with it. You know what I'm saying? You can't print extra money to to build things you don't need to build, like weapons and tanks and planes. So therefore, you're not going to build that shit because you don't have the money to do it. Gold keeps you in balance. I had a section on gold standard. So I've already talked about this, but I could talk about it again, but maybe on another day. Just from 1945 till now, well, not till now, till 2000 and something. What exactly happened in history, but we'll talk about that tomorrow. I got all fucked up with this freezing crap. So I do about 2.5 hours. So I did about an hour, and then now I'm doing the second hour, but I don't want people to have to be on my first video. Then I get frustrated because it's frozen, and then they come back on for this. So I try to touch base with stuff I was talking in the first video. So we're close to the BRICS going to gold because they have to. And the other thing is all these other countries want to get out of the dollar into BRICS because they don't want to be controlled by BlackRock. Nobody wants to be controlled by BlackRock and JP Morgan and Jamie Dimon. Argentina's got a new president who seems like laissez-faire economic guy was in for a rude awakening when he then has problems because he then has to pay back that BlackRock and JP Morgan loans, which he's not going to want, instead of just going into gold. I don't know why he didn't go into gold. They persuaded him out of it. But this is the problem. So I don't know what BlackRock's going to do. Are they going to start building houses? Well, fucking if nobody buys them, then what are they going to do? Who's buying houses now with with the inflation interest rates? So inflation, very high, didn't go down. But even my question on inflation is why did they do 1 year? What was milk at last year and what's it at? They're not even, what is lumber at last year versus this year? And they think that's inflation. And they throw out anything that's really high and said, look, it's 3%. And you're just like, are you fucking kidding me? Because there's a lot of variables into why something is priced 1 year to the other. Did they go out of business? Did their competition leave? Did something else go up? So if we're looking at houses, did wood go up? Yeah, it did. Maybe it went back down. I don't know. You had all these stupid forest fires set by George Soros probably, and every country they're burning. So there's no wood, so that's going to force the price of wood up, which forces the price of a house up, and things made of wood. So was that in there last year? And is it consistent with the variable? So as I bring up my New England one, well, yeah, you're giving me with Tom Brady, but he's not on the team anymore. And that's basically what you're doing with inflation. Well, it's what happened last year versus this year with this good. And it only went up 3%. And it's like, hey, what is their competition go away? This happened, did that happen? There's too many variables. So this is the point I have. And why are prices considered inflation? And why is it year versus year? Where's that? That's ridiculous. It's not the way to do it. It's how much money did you print? So I was reading, this is what I want to share with you. What is Fed tightening? I keep hearing this Fed tightening and stuff like that. TK, the Super Bowl did 125 million viewers, most ever in history. Okay, what's the point of that? So what does that tell you, Greg and John? The first thing I read at it is demand was high, but you had Mahomes and you had two good teams, so that makes sense. betting was probably up. But again, what's your point with that? All right. What does Fed tightening mean? Tightening policy occurs when central banks raise the federal funds rate. So they raise the rate. How is that tightening? And easing occurs when central banks lower the Fed funds rate. So easing is when they lower the interest rates. In a tightening monetary policy environment, a reduction in the money supply is a factor that can significantly help to slow or keep the domestic currency from inflation. So what you're saying here, Mr. Whoever, is that the more I print, the less it's worth. So you're actually trying to tell me it's a reduction in money supply? They're not printing anymore and they're bringing back? You're out of your fucking minds. Because they raised rates? How does that correlate? You raise rates. Now, the idea would be you raise rates so you put your money back in the bank. By putting your money in the bank has it and then can give it back to the Fed and they can burn it. But that's not what they're saying. They don't even explain it. The central banks raise the Fed funds rate and easing occur. Okay. In a tightening monetary policy, a reduction in the money supply is a factor that can, but they don't explain it. What happens when the Fed does quantitative tightening? The Fed implements quantitative tightening by either selling Treasury T-bills or letting them mature and removing them from its cash balance. The risk of QT is that it has the potential to destabilize financial markets, which could trigger a global economic crisis. What the fuck are they talking about? So quantitative tightening is by selling treasuries or letting them mature. So this is related to T-bills? Really? That's what quantitative tightening means? They sell treasuries. That's not tightening. That's the other way, because they're going to sell to get money in. So I don't get that. Why would the Fed tighten money supply? When the Fed increases interest rates, it is said to be tightening monetary policy. A higher interest rate may help control high inflation because the theory suggests access to credit becomes more expensive, which reduces consumption and investment. These guys are so stupid that it's really hard to even read this stuff. So quantitative tightening is they're raising interest rates, I assume, to try to get money back into the system so they can burn it, which is not what's happening. They don't stop printing. This is tightening and easing is just about the interest rates. Unbelievable. Why would the Fed tighten money supply? When the Fed increases interest rates, it's said to be tightening monetary policy, which may help control high inflation because access to credit becomes more expensive. So they think it's prices. So what they're saying is, well, if we raise interest rates, it'll be more expensive. You won't buy. And then if you're not buying, they're going to lower their prices. What's that got to do with inflation? Oh, my God. Does quantitative tightening increase inflation? And then, indeed, 10 years worth of inflation data shows that QE has not proven inflationary. Similarly, QT should not have a depressing effect on inflation. In fact, if the Fed were not reducing liquidity supply now, cash supply would exceed cash demand, and inflation could become a serious problem. What did I just read? QE has not proven inflationary. The more you print, the less it's worth. What the fuck are you talking about? That's quantitative easing. Similarly, quantitative tightening or raising interest rates should not have a depressing effect on inflation. What? In fact, if the Fed were not reducing liquidity supply now, cash supply would exceed cash demand. So the supply of money versus the demand for money and inflation would become a serious problem. Oh, we don't have that, so we don't count the debt. We don't count the interest on the debt as easing, and they're trying to sell treasuries. See, you got to read it twice to even understand what the fuck they're talking about. Quantitative easing, quantitative tightening. What are the disadvantages of tight monetary policy? I don't know. I can't even read this stuff. How many rate hikes does quantitative tightening equal? Under normal market conditions, quantitative tightening with active sales is equivalent to an increase of 22 basis points in the current federal funds rate. In the baseline scenario in which QT lasts for 3 years, but 47 basis points in the alternative scenario in which 3.3 trillion, what the fuck are you talking about? See, it's tough when you can't even, the way it reads is ridiculous. Okay. Let's see. I thought I was reading something else. Bad property that exceeds reserves at largest U.S. banks. I think I talked about this yesterday. I got to subscribe to it. So basically, the bank has $100 on reserve, and they have $200 in bad debt on their books, which is why these banks are in big trouble. Yeah, the Nature Boy, I was watching a match against Ricky Steamboat. They had great matches. Well, Ricky Steamboat had a lot of with the Macho Man too. So anyway, that's what we have. So we've got this war, which is just about making money for the government. So when we say we're going to give $60 billion to Ukraine, it's not like it's going to the defense contractors to build weapons for them, which they can't operate because they're not qualified to even operate them. And how many is, left? The whole thing is just a fucking scam. It's a Ponzi scheme. So basically, understand the Ponzi scheme is Wall Street and the banks. Wall Street with Jamie Dimon and BlackRock guy are just a joke. I mean, they're just, it's all a scam. I mean, but that's what you get on the Titanic. Get the fuck off the boat, because this is the problem. Dealing with the boat that's what you deal with, right? You deal with the sinking ship, and you're going to be taken down because they don't give a fuck about you. Every Wall Street movie I watch, but we don't care. We have to save the firm. Margin Call, The Big Short, the Attack on Wall Street guy. They're all about the same thing. We don't care about the people. Screw them. We got to save the company. And then one guy in the Attack on Wall Street goes, well, they gamble and they lose. Well, wait a minute. If I gamble and the game's fixed, that's not the same as gambling on a straight game. So when they talk about we fucked up the real estate trust. Let's just get out of them. Oops, everybody gambled and lost. No, that's not that's not part of the gamble. Now, if you want to deal 7-card stud and we each get 7 cards and it's fair, then I gamble and I lose, or I gamble and I win. It's fair, but not if the guy has 4 aces and I'm gambling. That's bullshit. You ever seen the Enron documentary? Yeah, I have. It was all bullshit. And this is the problem. How do you buy stocks and trust any companies being honest with you? Tesla's not honest. Microsoft's not honest. How can you trust any company to be honest with you? Then this one guy was talking about stocks, and you got to be kidding me. Why would you invest in stocks? Because it's still the Titanic. It's still a fixed thing. It's not going to help when the dollar goes out. See, what nobody's really understanding or talking about is brics. Brics blowing up the dollar. Nobody seems to think that's going to happen or happening or will happen. This Whitney Webb doesn't even talk about brics, doesn't talk about gold, doesn't, this is what BlackRock's trying to do. And if the people push back, then they try to do it publicly, then they try to do it privately. Well, what the fuck is she talking about? What have they done privately? So I find Facebook's crooked and I get off, or Instagram, or, I don't trust Tesla guy and he's got Twitter. I don't post anything on there. You got to be nuts to trust any of the social engineering communications, because it's just, this is all I trust is here. We're in control. But that's the problem, is the Enron, is all these other, you trust BlackRock, you trust JP Morgan. See, you can't trust any of it. So you just don't play, right? We take our ball and go home, and our ball is gold. So we take this and we go home. Just play along. This is gold. So we get out of the system into gold and silver, which not only are we out of the system so we don't lose, but we're going to make a fortune in the gold and silver. Now, yeah, people, it's controlled when we can see what Jamie Dimon and BlackRock guy are trying to do, how much power they maybe have. But what we have in our back pocket is Putin and the Chinese and the Indians and BRICS that all want gold to go higher, right? They all want to see us collapse. And so there's a bigger incentive that they want gold to go up than there is to keep the price of gold down. So anyway, well, it's hard to trust companies. That's why I don't buy stock. I guess the only way to trust it is just to watch it. So you're watching, the stock goes up and up and up. Okay, I can probably trust that guy. Even if it's crooked, I can see that the last 6 months the stock's done what it said. There's little comments you can read. So at the end of the day, what's the product? Basically you're looking at, what are they selling? What's the competition, or is it a monopoly? Is there demand for it? So the biggest questions is there demand, which you assume, although not in electric cars, right? So if we're breaking down electric cars, there's no demand, get the fuck out. If we're looking at other products, Coca-Cola, is there demand? Is there a market? Yes. Is there demand? Yes. Is there competition? Pepsi and Faygo and 7-Up and Verner's and all these others are competing with Coca-Cola. So you have a highly competitive market that they're in. See, and what do you think? They're just going to walk away, Coca-Cola and Pepsi? So I'm not seeing that. And that's the point. So from that standpoint, that's how you have to break it down, just like we break down football games, right? It's the same thing. What's going on, and then analyze it and go there. So it's always competition, a market. What are their costs? You go into their financials and you look at cash flow from operations and you go, is it positive or negative? If it's negative, you never buy it. If it's positive, you can buy it. The numbers won't lie. Well, normally they won't lie. I guess Enron did lie about their numbers, but most of the time, the financial, well, see, this is the problem too. The financial statements are supposed to be audited by, a big eight accounting firm, but even they cheat and lie. So this is what we're dealing with. There's really no honesty, so don't think there is. So therefore, the only thing to do is buy the gold. Or you meet a guy like me who tells you what's really going on. But this is why you buy the gold, because we don't want to trust anybody, and we don't. And that's why I say, as long as it says 1 ounce of gold, I'm good with it. Let's see what our gold's going for now. It looks like 2025 and silver 22.88. So silver we just laugh at. The frustrating part about this is we know silver's value is much higher, but gone up and we go, fuck. Now what's going to happen is as the dollar goes away, people will go to gold, and gold will be 10,000 an ounce. So they can't afford it. So if they can't afford it, what do? They go to silver because silver is affordable, and they know the dollar's going out. See, it's once they know it. So if Bezos would have bought gold, then we could have said, okay, he's got to get out, but he's not smart enough. We're dealing with is a bunch of idiots. And that's why when she talks about BlackRock guy or JP Morgan, I really just, he's an idiot. They don't know what they're doing now. What makes you think all of a sudden they're going to be good? It's sort of like, the Matt Patricia, is on New England. He sucks, goes to the Lions. They win 2 games. There for 2 years. And now why would you hire this guy? What do you think why would you hire him here? Are you afraid of anything? And that's the key to it is, are you afraid of what are you afraid of? And that's really the key to it. And I'm having what was the key to it? So, anyway, getting tired. So gold to me, you can't, as long as you can see it's 1 ounce of gold, it's American, it's Canadian, it's Krugerrand, you're fine. You're out. You're off the Titanic, and you don't sell it until this is gone and there's a new medium of exchange, preferably gold and silver. If it's another fantasy one, see, people aren't going to go into CBDCs. They don't want to be controlled. Well, I'm not going to go into Bitcoin because BlackRock guy is in charge of it. If anything, that's going to keep me away from it. But I don't have any desire to do anything but dollars. But as long as Chase and Wells Fargo and Bank of America are in business, they're in business with cash. It ain't going anywhere because those are the ones that hold the key. So keep that in mind. But, we'll get rid of this whole bullshit system of derivatives and all this money printing and everything else. I see it's coming. So just be careful with that. That's why with gold, you don't have to worry about all this shit. I don't care what BlackRock guy does. It's my choice if I'm in Bitcoin or not. There's going to be other money out there. Nothing's really going to change. The medium of exchange will change, but the system won't change. So this goes out. What's our new medium of exchange? You've got to have a medium of exchange. It's the best system. It ain't going to be cows and it ain't going to be tulips. It's going to be this, but a new one, right? And so understand that. And gold will always be king. It's been king since the Romans, and it's still going to be king. So that's really what you're looking at. you're fine in gold. And I don't think they can force you into anything. Not what it sounds like anyway, is that they can't really force you. If you don't like the government running it, then these private sector companies will run it. I still don't know who this Planeter is, and he owns Facebook. I don't care who owns Facebook. I don't use Facebook. So the only thing I use is WhatsApp to talk to the girls. That's it. And then I use YouTube to teach, and that's it. So I'm doing my own thing. And who this be? Hello, Barry. I didn't realize my name was Barry. Why am I getting this? Why am I getting this text, right? This is the problem I have. And this is how you stay out of the system. You just block the number. Anyway, you got to be careful who you trust. That's why I try to tell you, don't trust Peter Schiff. Don't trust, Rick Rude. Don't trust Reichert. Don't trust Andy Scheckman. Don't trust any of those guys. They're kind of right in the fact that they'll say, like Schiff and Scheckman will say buy gold, but you can't trust them. They don't know economic. They don't know the reason, and they don't get what brics is or anything like that. And they're just salesmen. And you got to be careful with salesmen. See, you find somebody like me, I'm not selling you anything. Well, forget football. Well, when we talk economics or gold, I'm not selling you anything. I'm educating you, but I'm not selling you. There's no motive for me to do anything in this realm because I don't profit from it. So therefore, why would I tell you there's nothing in it for me but that educate you? Now I can trust somebody like that. That's the whole point of it. I'm not selling anything. Anybody's selling you something, you have to just give them the people's eyebrow and say, really, you're selling me that? And you just don't buy it because you can't trust that anything he's saying is to sell you something. So that's really the problem. And if you notice, you never hear me say like or subscribe to my channel. I leave that to you because this is Austrian economics and this is free market, and you're free to decide what you want. But all I can say is these you go onto this one channel and he's like, oh, well, like and subscribe. And you're like, fuck that. What do you mean? I'm not, just because you tell me that, I'm not going to do it. That's a free thing. That's your choice. If you want to, do it. If you don't want to, don't do it. I can't control that. Again, being stoic, that's your choice. If you want to like it, great. If you want to subscribe to it, wonderful. If you want to get the little bell and you know I'm on, beautiful. But I'm doing it to educate. So I hope that's what you're doing anyway. Anyway, what else? I think this is a bad time. I'm not getting enough students in class. I see the numbers, 70, 80, 2 days from now. So a lot of people will watch them at their time, but it's just, I've been having errands to do. Today I went to the library and got my insurance. I had to print out my insurance because I want to get my tabs on my car. And I have a feeling they're going to ask for the insurance proof, which I could go into my email and show them, but I got a feeling I got to hand it to them or something. I'll go to the Secretary of State, but I'll go to this kiosk where I can just print it out. And then I went swam. Then I looked at the football site, and it's fine. And I looked at my resume, and it was a little bit off. So I had to kind of reinvent the look. Some things were bulleted wrong, some things were over, and I said fuck it, and because maybe that's why I'm not getting a job if I can't do that. I look like an idiot. So I've always had a good, clean resume with a lot of experience, and a lot of everything's in line and makes sense. And you go, wow, that guy's good. So I did that. So I kind of tweaked it and edited it. So I got my new resume, put it on Indeed. I got to put it on LinkedIn and go from there. It's funny, people will go, well, you don't have your new resume on LinkedIn. And I'm like, yeah, I don't really go on it. I don't like to be on the social networks. Like I said, this is the only one, and WhatsApp. Otherwise, I don't want to be on these networks. I don't want anybody to know what I'm doing. I mean, I want everybody to know I'm teaching, but my life's personal, and I don't want to. I don't mind if the students understand and know about Daria or whatever. That's fine. That's part of the class. That's part of Stoic. But I don't need strangers who aren't in the class to ask questions about it or, be involved with it. That's none of their business. So we talk about Kenzie because she actually comes on, but I don't talk about her outside. Anyway, that's really what it is. So understand the money keeps you, the gold keeps you out of this Ponzi scheme, which is called Wall Street and the banks. And then you see JP Morgan or BlackRock coming, you run the other way. You know you're fucked. You don't want to do business with them. Talk about people you can't trust. So you stay with gold and silver, and then you don't have to trust anybody. You just wait for our buddies in Russia and China to, let's get it going. Let's do the gold standard and let's put the price where it should be. And that's what we're waiting for. So I'm seeing all these, you see all these problems in Europe where they're blocking, they're fucking with the farmers and not letting them fertilize. So they're losing crops and they're losing their livelihood. They're going bankrupt because these idiots won't allow them to do it. So they're all like parking their tractors on bridges and then, wherever they can to disrupt. And this is how we say no, right? I don't like what you're doing. And that's the problem is this JP Morgan guy and the BlackRock guy aren't elected. They're just bankers. They're not elected. So we don't listen to them. There's nothing I would listen to with JP Morgan. I don't trust. All he wants is monopolies and price fixing and gold and silver. So fuck him. I don't know what this BlackRock guy, just don't get in my way, buddy. That's all I can say. I don't know who he is. Like I said, I did a little research on him. He sold houses and somehow he got a hold of the fund and he doesn't know what he's doing. Not an economist. So he'll end up fucking it up anyway. It's like hiring a bad coach for the Lions and like Patricia and then boom. You wonder why it failed. Well, that's what this guy is. Again, just because somebody has money does not mean they're smart. It just means they got money, right? You can't measure. I was very offended when the guy says, "Oh, I'm not going to listen to you. You're in an apartment. You're not in a house. You're not an elitist. You're not in a $10 million Tom Brady house. So you must not be smart." And that's kind of, where you're like, who the fuck are you? Good luck trying to find the information I'm going to give you. You can't find it. I've got a master's. I had a house. I got divorced. And now I'm waiting for the crash. And then I'm waiting to buy a house with gold. So it's a simple formula. I'm 5 steps ahead of the game as I try to teach you guys to do that. And that's really all it is. Understanding what's going to happen and learning from it and going from there. So basically, I just, how do you judge because I live in an apartment versus a house that I'm stupid? What is that? Well, if I was so smart, I'd have a big, yeah, but I got divorced and, a lot of money goes there. And then I got a lot of money in gold and silver and baseball cards. So shut the fuck up. But you try to be stoic. You try to try to use yourself and understand, and then nobody can talk you out of it once you get it. Like Mahomes in the Super Bowl or Mahomes against Baltimore. Nobody can talk me out. Mahomes is the dog. I'm playing it. Now you be stoic. You made up your mind. You understand why you made the bet. Makes sense. You make the bet. Then we win the bet. So it's very, very, that's what we're trying to do. And, that's what happens. You try to be stoic, and you got to be really stoic as with girls. So, if a girl starts playing games with you, you say, fuck it, I'm not interested. I'm waiting to meet Daria. First, she's scared to go to Turkey. Now she says, why don't you come here to St. Pete? And now it's, we could meet in Turkey. And so, okay, well, are we meeting or not? Because I'll go meet Jenna. I have Jenna, so I'm not, it's not like that, but I'm not going to just sit here and twiddle my thumbs while you make a decision. Now, I'll give you credit. I'm not going to hurt you, but what are we doing here? And why does it take so long to decide? All right, you needed your passport. Why did you let it expire? Were you not planning on meeting me any time? Now, in her defense, we were waiting for the war to end, which is, here comes a 20-year war. So I'm trying to get the visa to go there in the event anyway, but we've got to meet, and then we both know what's going on. Just like Greg and John's talking about that one girl who was a guy. I know Daria is a girl. I'm sure of that, but again, it's better to meet her. I think part of the problem with her is I don't think she speaks a lot of English, so she's very afraid to meet me and that. But she's starting to, I can feel, open up much more because I keep asking her, what do you want? Oh, I want you. I want a life with you. Okay, then stop fucking around. What are we doing here? Anyway, we will see. But that's all we can do is just cards are on the table. I want to meet. I'll meet in Turkey. I'll meet in St. Pete. Turkey's easier. I don't need a visa. Paul's, okay, I'm here. You want to meet? Let's go. Or we're not meeting. You want to meet? Let's meet. I mean, it's very simple. I've got Jenna, she says, okay, when are we meeting? And I'm like, well, I got to see what's going on here. But I'll give you a couple weeks, and then we're either going to meet in the summer, then I'll meet Jenna, or we're going to meet in March, then I'll meet Jenna later. So it's just really, but it's stoic. You're just doing that. So that's a big part of life, is to not let a girl manipulate you. And, like Greg and John, send me money. Who are you? Why would I send you money? You got a nice picture. Is that even you? So you got to be very analytical with the women. If you're doing it online, my suggestion is not to send any money to girls online unless, I've seen Daria enough on Skype that I know it's her, and the pictures I get are her, and the videos I get her and her daughter are her and her daughter. So I now believe that is Daria. Jenna, I know, I've met her a bunch of times, as I met Carmen and Irina. So when they ask if they need something, I know who I'm dealing with. The problem is you just don't want to send it to somebody who isn't there, who shouldn't get it, and therefore you're wasting your money. Because it's one thing, I help Jenna needs food and I help her with food. Okay, that's one thing. But I'm helping, but I know Jenna's getting the money, and I assume she's using it on food, but I don't really care. It's not breaking me. It's just a little bit here and there as I wait for gold to go up. And then it'll be different when gold goes up. Then I'll have more money. Then I can help them out a little bit more. But that's totally fine. But that's what stoic is. You're stoic in poker with the hand. Your gut instincts take over. Your gut instinct, Grego, was very good with. Well, let me get a video from you, and it's a guy. Well, I would have like, what's this about? What do you mean it's a guy? What do you are? Where's the girl? Oh, she doesn't exist. Okay, fine, fuck off. That's where your instinct comes in, and your gut instinct told you, well, let's get a video, and you get the video, and then it's, well, wait a minute, where's this girl? This is a blonde, supposed to be a blonde, and it's some guy, and then okay, fine, and you just move on. But you try to have conversations where it doesn't involve money, and they'll eventually say, oh, it's Valentine's, it's my birthday, and they try to get you that way. And all I can say is just see me. I've even said, well, put up hold up a sign saying Howard or something, so I know it's really you. And then you got to watch the hands, because the hands are superimposed over the, if they have a sign, hi, Howard, but then you realize it's not her hand holding it up. So be careful of the hand. It's not holding it. It's not them. So yeah, there's a lot. You just better stay away from it unless you've met the girl. I have a friend in Vegas. So if she calls, I've met her. So I know it's her. And that's the thing. But the first time, it was different. And then we met, and then now everything's fine. So that's really what you want to do, is meet the person. It's probably better just to meet them at Kroger's, have a conversation, or meet them at the swim club or or where you're working out. Then at least you know who it is. But it's funny how it's always, they're kind of weird, or they're with their other half, the spouse or the boyfriend, and you're meeting them, and then you're trying to, where you stand with them. But so it's really hard. But then this girl will call, yeah, no, I'll be your best friend, and we can do this and that, and send me some money, and like, wait a minute, that doesn't ring a bell. Like that happens like that in the gym. So use your logic, use your gut instinct. Football, poker, women, it's be stoic. Be stoic means be smart, think logically, keep your emotions in check. Even if a girl like Darius kind of like, well, maybe we'll meet in Turkey now, and be stoic. You just like, well, okay, if you want to meet, we'll meet. When are we meeting? And if she doesn't give you the answer, you just go back to, not I didn't leave Jenna. You just, okay, Jenna, I guess, okay, I'm free to go. And you just go from there. You don't even fuck around worrying about Daria if she can't give you an answer. Or if she says in the summer, now you got to be careful. She's playing you along. Meanwhile, you're helping her with rent and food. And the problem is you say, what do you want? She says, I want you. I want a life with you. But the actions got to speak louder than words. Okay, then why aren't we meeting? What are we doing that we're not meeting? And then you just say, fuck it. I guess you don't want to meet. I guess you're just scamming me for $100 here and there for food, which I can see. But she shows me, she buys them. She opens her fridge. Here's what I bought. Shows me her daughter. So really hard to believe that. It's just, she's scamming me for a little bit of money here. Plus I'm helping her. Well, what are you going to do? Then she says, I hate Russian guys. And I'm like, well, I understand. You don't want to have you marry the guy and he has a mistress, so you don't have to worry about that with me. And so you can see what goes on, but hopefully we'll meet relatively soon, before summer, because she's not working and I'm not working, and it's the daughter in school, but what are you going to do? So, and I don't think she's coming now. She said she's scared to meet my mother, and then my mom will report in, and then I can meet with you after I know you're okay. I always like, what the fuck? If I'm okay, you can't tell by now. Like, Bobby, where are you? So it's just a big shake my head there. Anyway, so we buy gold because they can't print it. We buy gold to get out of the dollar, and that's really the key. So you try to do that, and that'll protect you. And it's going to go way up because of demand. All the people in the paper currency is going to have to go into gold and or into, I don't think Bitcoin, put into gold, maybe in the stocks, but the stocks are going to crash. The bonds are going to crash. The houses are going to crash because all these other people are going to pull their money out of the U.S. because they don't want to be in U.S. dollars. And I think it's becoming more and more clear. And I think it's happening more and more, but nobody could be like, nobody in Europe believes we buy gold. They don't believe in my class. They've never seen it. They don't know that we're going to the store and buying gold and silver. They think nobody here knows about it. Nobody knows about gold. Are you insane? What are you, crazy? And a lot of it is we haven't been taught it. So alligators, they don't travel to Europe. They don't buy gold. Well, we don't need to travel to Europe. We can go to Vegas or Florida or California. Well, we could go to California or Texas or New York. We could go there. So there was no reason to go to Europe. You had Europe here. So anyway, I just like, it's funny how we're listening to Alligator and he says, well, nobody in the U.S. buys gold. And we're like, okay. And then, by the way, Alligator, your calculations for your portfolios are fucked up because you're not getting when people buy physical gold. You don't have that tracked anywhere, and it's getting very, very big, I'm sure. All right. Well, sorry for the holds before, but there was nothing I can do. I did restart my computer, and it seems to be much better. So maybe it was my internet, or maybe my computer needed to be kind of restarted. Sometimes I think that is. Anyway, have a wonderful day. Be smart, be stoic, be calm. Stoic means if you're going to go out with a girl for dinner and she can't make it and she says, I can't make it, don't even worry about it. There's nothing all you can do is invite. If she doesn't take it, you've got to don't take it as a rejection. But if you got to get rejected, just say, well, that's your problem. You lost me. Like if I lose a job, I go, it's your problem because you could have had me and now you don't. Good luck, But I've never heard from that guy who stole all my way of doing work, and I hope he chokes on it. But he didn't hire anybody, so from that standpoint. Anyway, have a good day. www.teaserking.com. I will see you tomorrow, whatever day it is, and I will try to be. Well, I don't know. I mean, I can do it early or late. This seems to be a weird time. People are going home from work and everything. So I find that if I can do it by 1:30ish, I do get more people because they're still around. Versus if I wait till 3ish, they're already out, and then people are out, and then coming home for dinner, they're at the club or wherever they're at. So I apologize for that. But anyway, www.teaserking.com. Have a good night. Watch what's going on with brics and gold, and I will keep you informed. Looks like the war in Ukraine is not ending because they want to keep making money. They want the U.S. to keep giving them $60 billion that they can launder through and everything. Or in Israel, seems to be Israel versus the whole Muslim Arab community. Good luck on that. And that's about it. So www.teaserking.com. Have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right, go gold.